Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, where today you are going to see me overtaking medium tanks going up the hill. I just overtook Uda 16, E50M, Skoda D50, I'm catching up on that guy, and also I'm catching up on Leopard 1. Because in today's video I'm going to show you something quite crazy. I would actually say it is quite a crazy build over here. AMX 50B's mobility slash ramming setup. Yes. Let's try it out, ladies and gentlemen. And in this first battle, this by the way was my first battle with this type of setup as well. My actual very first battle with this setup. And this battle shows, even though you do not carry, you know, gun handling, posting equipment units, any of that, no food, as you can see, I replaced the food with premium fuel, just to give my engine power extra 10% juice, you know, to drive faster, to accelerate faster, to do all the mobility things faster. And even despite that, you're going to see that the firepower damage is still over there. You are still able to do a lot of damage, you're still able to be effective and, you know, wreck enemy tanks, shot after shot, right? Now, of course, you would like to know what exactly is the build I am using over here. So for that, let's quickly head into the garage and let me show it to you right over here. So, AMX 50B. I'm using improved hardening in the survivability slot, not using tests in the survivability slot because I want the maximum hit points and I also want the maximum suspension durability, because there is nothing more annoying than getting tracked while you're heading towards your enemy full speed and they simply track you and you lose all your momentum and you deal one ramming damage. You know, nobody enjoys that. So improved hardening is in the survivability slot. Then of course for the ramming protection and HE protection and all those things, I'm using heavy spall liner. And finally, Bond Turbo. Well, if you do not have Bond Turbos, regular turbo works as well, but while I have it available over here, I am going to use improved compressor, aka Bond Turbo, on the top of that to make the mobility even more better, plus 4% to the engine power, turbocharger over here, a large med kit, large repair kit over here, plus a fuel, which gives my engine power extra 10% juice, as I said before. Totaling 1538 engine power, 71 kilometers per hour top speed, 21 reverse speed, and maintaining speed as well, which is very good actually. Thanks to the field modifications, and here are the field modifications. You know, this is the main thing over here. I wanted to be aiming time, because aiming time is going to be lost using the other equipment unit over here. View range, why not, right? Let's go. This actually puts me exactly 445 if I remember correctly. Yes, then the reload speed instead of reverse speed, because I'm not reversing too often anyway. Then vehicle hit points, of course, and aiming circle size after firing. You know, aiming speed is minus 6% aiming speed is quite bad. But if you are going to use standard turbo, of course, use mobility instead of firepower with this setup right over here. Now, the key skills you need, of course, on your driver, you need to have the controlled impact, which is going to increase the ramming damage you deal and decrease the ramming damage you are going to take in. On the top of that, jack of all trades is very usable, like if your driver gets knocked out and you use your first aid kit, if your driver gets knocked out 2 times in a row, basically it's annoying, so it can replace that, brothers in arms and all those things. But most importantly, of course, the controlled impact is very needed, and this basically is the build over here. It is crazy, lacking some firepower, you know, no ventilation, no stabilizer, nothing like that, but as you are going to see from this battle, for example, you are still able to deal a lot of damage. Just wait for your moments and never rush in. You know, it is more of an aggressive type of setup, more an aggressive type of build, but you still have to pick your moments even more carefully than with the standard equipment units, I would say so, because you have that extra DPM. Yeah, I like to call it like this type of build, having the extra DPM from ramming, but you have to choose your moments correctly. Don't rush in alone unless you know that team is going to back you up in a moment, or don't take those 1 versus 2 situations unless you know that you are able to ram one guy to death and take a couple shots into the other guy. Like over here, I saw that Type 5 Heavy most likely is busy with the other allies on the other side. I was hoping 268 was peeking the other way as well, but 268 wasn't doing that, so went for a little ramming action into Judas, which basically equaled 1 extra shot, high roll, 460 damage. Couple shots into 268, 1 into Type 5 Heavy, and boom, all the tanks over here have been destroyed. 5,876 damage done in total. Yeah, so as I said, you know, this why this tank can be a good rammer, because it has very thick hull armor. Actually, it has good mobility. You know, armor and mobility is what you need to deal a lot of ramming damage to the enemy vehicles, and because it has a clip as well, guys. If you see any tier 10 medium tank actually in the game, if you get a good ramming hit, you are able to one shot. Let's call it one shot. Basically any tier 10 medium tank in the game. You hit the ram, usually when, you know, with good ramming action. 500, 600, 700 damage, and you have 1600 damage in the clip as well, and boom, they are gone. They are goner. For example, Badger 25T. Now, I'm not going to get the most perfect ramming over here because I tried to anticipate this guy moving forward a bit after maybe spotting me on the minimap or anywhere. Usually this is what players do, you know. Now, only 769 ramming damage done, plus 2 shots is good enough to pick up the kill. Exactly what I said over here. So, not a bad battle for my first try with this setup over here. Of course, I was crazy lucky with the Object 263 hitting the lower plate with every single shot across the map, basically. And by the way, did you pay attention? Our drop speed driving down the hill. The maximum I was able to hit was 81, and maintaining, I would say, 67, 68, 69, 70 kilometers per hour on flat ground when driving straight forward is not going to be an issue as well. But now let's jump into another battle, which is a bit different, but I want to showcase you this one specifically because just pay attention to the matchmaking, guys. Many times you are going to be put into very bad on very bad maps with very bad matchmaking combination, and this leads into one of the main topics you have to keep in mind when you are even thinking about trying this setup out. Please do not make it as your main primary setup. What I mean about that is, you know, now with field modifications, they introduce the ability or the opportunity to switch between loadouts while you are on the loading screen. You can make up to 2 preset equipment loadouts, and this definitely should be your secondary, because in most battles, I would say the ramming setup is bad. You know, you are not bad, let's say, your main one, whichever you are using, ventilation, stabilizer, go to the optics, you know, whatever you're using over there, turbo, why not, right, is going to do better, because in most battles you do not find those ramming opportunities, right? So if you do not find any ramming opportunities, or if you are put into heavy tier 10 matchmaking, which happens like 80% of the times, right, then you are simply over there with your extra HP, with your spawn liner, you know, all those things are working, turbo as well. It is not the worst setup you can make in you can bring into every single battle, but I would say not the best either. It is not the most competitive in every given gameplay situation. So make it as your secondary, and if you see like tier 8s or some soft tier 9 matchmaking, you know, with many medium tanks, some light tanks, you know, to ram on a city map or on smaller map, more bumpy map, just if you get good matchmaking and map combination, then you can use it, but not all the time. Definitely something you would like to keep in mind. And I wanted to show you this battle because over here you can see we have so many heavy tanks and only 3 medium tanks on the enemy side. Actually, only 2 medium tanks on the enemy side. No, 3. Judas, Centurion, and Leopard, who is already dead. So 3 light tanks in total, some camping tank destroyers, and a lot of heavy tanks. So this is the matchmaking where you normally do not want to bring it, but for the sake of the video, I still decided to use it. And if you are paying attention, I am playing normally. I'm not forcing to rams. I'm not trying to go in every moment. I'm not going to ram that version 4. I'm not going to ram Judas, you know, crossing. Although Judas would be an easy ram kill for me, I'm not going to do that because it would put me and my team into disadvantage. Centurion would be able to shoot me for free. Maybe the Tortoise has repositioned as well, and all those things. So just even when you're playing with the ramming setup, just play normally. Guys, simply play normally as you would normally play, and if you see ramming opportunities like right now, right over here, feel free to take it. Feel free to take it. Centurion is able to take only one shot into me, and because of the ram I just did 500 extra damage from ramming, that allows me to take out his guy with the following shots without receiving another one from the Centurion. If I didn't ram that guy for roughly 500 damage, Centurion would have easily been able to take at least one more shot into me. Yeah, so I did 496 and I received 310 ramming damage. You know, Centurion is not the most ideal ramming target, and you want to ram the side, you want to ram the rears and all those things. So just keep that in mind, play normally as you would normally play, and if you see the opportunity to sting, if you see a solo player, if you see a lonely wolf out here, just, you know, bite it. Yeah, bite it, extra DPM just from that. And now, as you can see, I was put into, you know, 780-ish hit points left, which means I cannot be so crazy aggressive with the ramming action anymore. Now, let's switch back to the normal gameplay, let's do some snipings, and in the end here it's going to be a little tiny ramming action still, but, you know, just trying to do some sniping action. There is Tortoise I can see, so let's charge in towards the Tortoise, and having turbo over here with this setup is... it's always good, you know, repositioning is easy, the extra fuel, you know, the horsepower, the mobility is absolutely crazy, right? Now, of course, ramming opportunity, but guess what, guys? Looking at E75, I decided not to take this ram because E75 has a lot of hit points left, and I wanted to have some hit points at least to maybe take one shot from D75 to survive one shot from the IS-7 as well. So simply driving by with my crazy good mobility, what this setup also brings, and just picking up the kill, picked up Tortoise, picked up E75 with 2 shots on the bow, and now IS-7 is the only vehicle left to destroy, and of course, well, artillery as well, but artillery seems to be across the map on the other side. And of course I'm going to take that little tiny ramming chance up over here. IS-7, 1100 hit points left, hiding behind the shipwreck. I'm hoping no other allies are able to damage that guy. IS-7, I knew IS-7 is going to shoot me, luckily low roll, so one shot into the lower blade just to make it sure. Although I didn't want to deal only 178 ramming damage over here. But, you know, eye for an eye, we still picked up the kill. But just before I managed to ram, someone was able to penetrate the guy. Maybe Conway, maybe Object 277, and my shot went in as well. But at least I was able to pick up eye for an eye, little ribbon from this ramming action, because we destroyed each other. Once again, I wasn't able to get any tier 8 battles. Sadly, I wasn't simply able to get into tier 8 battle action with this. I wanted to show you some hardcore crazy ramming, but, you know, if the matchmaking didn't want to give me any tier 8 battles, what can I do about that? AMX 50B with a bit different loadout, a bit different setup in front of you. If you want to test it out yourself, keep in mind what I said about the secondary loadout, about the matchmaking. You know, just choose your moments, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up button is for that. If you didn't, thumbs down button is for that. And of course, in the comment section, please let me know about any other crazy builds you would like to see me testing out. If you have any good ideas, let me know down below. I got you next time with something else. Stay awesome, stay sexy, stay naked, take care, and bye.